Hello, family. SaaS reviews and interviews. We are here with one more interview with the founder. And while talking through with Rahul, I discovered that this is his second product, and very excited and interested to know more about this. And I'm sure you all are also waiting to have a look at the tool, understand what was the idea behind this, and the story how this all started. So I'm going to welcome Rahul to the studio and then pass it on to him to introduce himself and then briefly walk us through the tool. So over to you, Rahul, and welcome to the studio.
Thanks, Prashant. Thanks for the great introduction, and it's great to be here with you.
Great, Rahul. So we would like to understand a little bit about yourself, a quick intro about you, and then we'll go to the next phase of the discussion.
Sure. So myself, Rahul VP. Basically, I'm from Kerala, India, so southern part of India. So as Prashant said earlier, this is my second startup. I have around 8 years of experience, and most of the time I spent with the SaaS companies, and including both my startups. I work with Capgemini. I was with Capgemini earlier, and I quit my job and I started with my college mate. So we started in 2017. Probably that the product is actually into kind of AI. It's actually AI is actually in a boom, and everyone is actually looking for chatbots, and everyone is actually developing kind of a conversational AI product. So we were also, so I have a, while I'm working with Capgemini, I have a certain problem statement, and we just, where we can, how we can solve, and we just started it, Dashfrugal, I mean, Arctic earlier. So this is actually a trial account which I created just now. This will give a better understanding how the product look like. So let's say imagine you as a new user signing up with any, let's say imagine you signed up with Dashfrugal, and you logged into Dashfrugal account. It's your dedicated account. And let's get started with something. So you have some digital onboarding assistant. Maybe most of the times you may be familiar with something that popping up over a certain button that telling you to click over here, and you may get some option to next to the next button and guiding you within the application. So generally it's called the tooltip guidance that navigate you within the application, and most of the times the end user is actually unable to figure out what are their initial needs or how to learn more about the product. Here we have made some more bit difference. Actually, we provide a digital onboarding assistant, digital onboard widget, which helps the user to learn each and every software feature from basic itself. So let's get started. So imagine you as a user, just get started with this. So we have a digital onboarding widget. You can see here you're in an early phase of your onboarding, that you have just finished a 0% for overall onboarding. So this is actually the whole process you need to go through to set up your account, to set up your learning process. So we actually created a digital onboarding kind of an assistant over here. So let's get started with this. So just click over here. This is actually even imagine this is actually a widget which is where my user, let's say a SaaS company, APC, is actually signed up with Dashfrugal, and they need to complete their onboarding. Their onboarding itself, they need to create their onboarding flow where they can deploy this widget, something like an intercom widget, over their dashboard. So I'm just getting started with this. So you can see here we have noted they have 6 overall processes they need to get started with. I'll get started with the first one, the basic process. So what we do is we give them like an example wise what are the first step they need to execute on this step and on the second step. So this is actually include 2 steps where they need to learn, they need to contextually read the thing, and if they're still facing some problem, they are unable to read something or they don't want to read something, of course they have option see some kind of a video, like a video guided tour. They can learn it directly without going to YouTube videos. They can directly see, or the company can embed something like an example video over this section. So I just imagine I just completed the one on second step. So let's say imagine you actually been done with, but you have some confusion. Directly raise a concern, send the help request directly to the customer success team telling that you are facing some problem to adopt this certain feature on step 2. So let's say if you're raising this concern, the customer success team on the other side let you know that you have facing some problem on creating the Dashfrugal basic step. So I'm not sending the right away, but imagine I just complete the second step. So you can see here, I mentioned that the user is actually completed the step 1, and then I need to go to the second step. So imagine like we are on the second phase, and literally they can go through the whole step by reading things, getting directly help from someone. But most of the time users sometimes want, maybe they need some guidance as well. So what I can do is our platform is actually integrated with a digital tooltip guidance as well. Let's say while I'm pressing on the certain section, again we got something like coach we call the tooltip guidance. So that helps the user to create the milestone. So you can see here, I'm just creating that certain section, and I'm giving a certain, creating the certain sections like every product. So what it does is it's guide the user from one button to another. So just give some, the user onboarding step where they need to, where their end user need to learn. Just give the data and complete the entire step. Once you're completing the whole step, we won't let the user without getting the data. I mean, maybe in some tooltip guidance system that generally, the user can directly press next and that complete the task. But we need to make sure that the user is adopting the entire software features without skipping the step. So we need to make sure that the end user is actually able to find the product value. Similarly, my customer, let's say the SaaS company, can guide the users within the application. So once you're completing on each step, let's say we noted down that they completed the 80% of their overall onboarding, and you can see here they completed 33% of their, that 33% on that certain section. So let's say me, going through each step and learning everything very thoroughly, and I'm just doing the same thing by navigating to the certain page or by manually doing things. So just while I'm completing on a certain section, every section we can, so a platform is actually completely customizable based on the user's requirement. Let's say if you're offering a SaaS product with some advanced steps, so you can completely customize your platform according to your requirement. So every step once I'm completing, my digital onboarding assistant will note down whether you've completed all the certain sections. So you can see here completed a certain section. So that's over, that certain section 100% is completed. So similarly, we have 3 section the user need to complete. Once they're completing the whole step, the onboarding overall process may move to 100%. So like this actually the implementation on a certain account is actually mainly available or mainly useful on the first few days. Let's say the free trial, during the free trial period. Let's say if I'm offering a 14-day free trial, generally the users are facing a trouble to learn maybe the software feature in the first few days. So if they, let's say if you as a SaaS founder or a SaaS business want to convert more users from free trial to user, it's better to educate the user in the first load itself. Let's say if the user is actually logged out from the platform, the research shows that 60% of the users will not come back, and you need to calculate that as a churn customer. So definitely that we need to make sure that the users adopting each and every feature. So that's actually the about the user onboarding widget. Once I completed on this certain widget, I can monitor the user onboarding activity. Let's say the whole onboarding user. So I can see here the entire onboarding, the user onboarded. So this is actually the account. I haven't set up anything. Let's say if you have a users, if you have a users actually completing or executing some user onboarding step, so I can see the entire user onboarding journey on this particular section. So better, I think I'll show this the same thing over an account with some decent data. This actually is one of our dashboard. You can see the entire data that user is actually completed the whole onboarding journey, and I can see here that the onboarding users, let's say, you can see here one of our user who completed their whole onboarding journey. So let's say I'll take one of the user which called the base factor, that they completed the whole their onboarding journey. Let's say including their implementation, they completed the whole onboarding journey. And on this step, what they can do is they can see here the steps which the each user completed. Let's say this is actually the dashboard for Dashfrugal. So this is actually one of my user, and they completed the whole section, the milestone creation. And over this section, they are only they completed the embedded code implementation as well. So I can count this user as a fully educated user. So it's something like over this window, what I can do is what I can see is the data, the section like the support request where the user is actually raised or through or during their user onboarding journey. Let's say you can see here on this section, I want some help from one of the customer success team member. So I'm raising a ticket over this. So this is actually created as a ticket that he needs some assistance from the customer success team. So one of our customer success team member will join this conversation and they will respond to the user to learn certain things. So let's say if you look into like in-app messaging platform like Intercom or something, that generally uh, defaultly integrating on the dashboard where the user need to tell the whole story where they are facing the problem, and they need to define the entire story, and most of the users won't prefer telling the whole story. But here you can see that I can understand where the user is actually confused. You can see I'm confused in the task instruction or defining the milestone creation section. So it's easy for my customer success team to respond to that certain section. So once my customer success team member, what I'll do is I'll log into one of the customer success team member portal. So this is actually the portal for the customer success manager, where they can see their pending request, how many ticket they're handling for account-based requests, how many account they're managing, and they can see the online users information, who are all the users available online. And what they can do is, if imagine this user is actually inactive, and they can give some waving to the user that to keep the user, let's say to keep the users occurred. Like, and also what I can do is I can send some predefined messages that keep the user, engaging within the application. So once similarly, I have also option that this actually I mean the issue which I raise, once I'm reply back to this user, I'll get it over my portal that this user actually got the message from a certain customer success manager. So it's easy for me to learn things by doing. So we also have a digital onboarding assistant associated with the tooltip guidance, and also have an in-app support facility as well. Similarly, we can monitor the, as I said earlier, like the whole onboarding journey, where the users are and how many percentage of onboarding they completed. Though, so I'll get the entire information on this portal. So this time, post the failure of a first product, so we do not rely more on the software features. So we have very limited software features, but our aim is to make our users, let's say the SaaS companies, user onboarding pretty well. So we give them the entirely templated section where they can create their user onboarding based on their software and their software learning information.
Great, excellent, Rahul. I see that this is a very comprehensive tool with even though there are less features, but I think this is kind of addressing the purpose that it is made for.
Exactly.
So yeah, so very good, and it is really a noble thought that if we faced a challenge in life, how about solving it for others as well, because they may also be facing a similar issue. So great concept and great idea that I can see, Rahul.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, so I'm sure the audience when they were looking at the walkthrough, it was pretty easy to use as well. But do you think there needs to be any technical expertise for anybody to use this tool?
I'll tell you. So if you are a new user without any technical expertise, that's actually one of our one of the important USP. If you look into one of our competitors, let's say a few of our competitors in the market, definitely they demand a lot of technical expertise. Like someone need to define the entire user onboarding flow, and they need to be that actually based on the like a browser-based extension base. And most of the time, there are two demerits. One is actually, browser extension base definitely makes some security concerns. Similarly, it requires a lot of technical expertise to create the user onboarding flow. But if you look into our platform, Dashfrugal, it's easy for everyone. If you have technical expertise, that's okay. If you don't have the technical expertise, that's fine. You can create your onboarding flow without any barrier. Let's say I'm actually one of a co-founder without a technical expertise. So I definitely, if I'm unable to demonstrate the product to you as a user, definitely someone without a technical expertise definitely can adopt the software features. And also the core competitive, I mean the user, the USP which we have is actually the platform is actually very simple to integrate, very simple to create. And also this platform is actually, an API driven integration. Let's say the user is, every time the user, don't need to create the browser based extension, directly they can copy the API code. Once they complete the entire thing, they get a couple of API codes and they can implement over their dashboard as well. Let's say we are actually working mainly on the user onboarding. So mainly it is actually, we want to improve the let's say the trial to feature, the trial to the premium conversion. So we came into play in the first few days of customer journey. Let's say the customer is, if the customer learned the initial steps, that's fine. Then the user can, continuously the user can learn things by doing. But the initial days, the user are not, the modern software users, the SaaS users are not willing to learn a complicated thing because they have very limited time, and with a very limited time they need to get the product value. So if you are not able to deliver the product values in the first few days of the, let's say the first day of your product journey, the product journey, it's very hard to convert the software user. So definitely it's a win-win game. Definitely my user need to onboard pretty well to improve the feature adoption. So as like every SaaS founder, there was actually some barriers actually that you know protected us from, definitely from scaling from 0 to the 100 users. So we launched the product. We are actually more tech savvy. We developed the product, and we are actually working more on feature side, and every month we are rolling out a new feature, and we haven't realized whether the users are adopting the features, or whether our users are able to find the values through a product. So definitely it took us 1 year to realize that most of the feature which we develop is not actually adopting by the users end user very well. And unfortunately we got some like the user churn. It's most of the time it's purely due to, we had a market research, we had a research, and we just got a understanding, got a result that we have some good features in the product, but the users are not able to understand, the users are not able to learn how to get started with the product. So I just wondering, actually, anyhow we have created a lot of tutorials, we created a lot of blogs and etc etc. So still, why my users are unable to learn my product? So I talked to some peers, I talked to some other SaaS founders. Everyone is, even in their early days, they face the same problem, and they're still trying to figure out the possible solution for that. I tried. There was actually we just try to understand. It's not actually not only the problem to Arctic board. It's actually a global phenomenon. Most of the initial SaaS founders are facing the same problem. Still, they are developing a lot of features, but still they're not understanding whether users are adopting the features, or etc etc. So it just started with Dashfrugal. Suddenly, the turn was actually, it's very easy for us because we were in the SaaS. We have a use case. We have a failed product, and we know the reason why our product got failed. Definitely, it's easy for us to solve. It's easy for us to find out something, a better solution for this. So launched Dashfrugal. So Dashfrugal is a digital adoption platform, a digital user onboarding platform built for SaaS companies. Even it's a SaaS product, and we are a SaaS company, helping SaaS companies to manage the user onboarding, in-app product training, feature adoption kind of a thing. User onboarding is actually a kind of a word that misunderstood a lot of times. Like when someone say user onboarding, I have some user onboarding solution, generally they ends up with implementing some kind of a tooltip guidance, guiding the user from one to another, and just the user is actually skipping that certain section and that's over. The user, what the user does is the user try to figure out to some YouTube videos, some blogs. Still, that kind of a material is not helping the user to learn the software feature. So what he do usually is sign out and will not come back. So if you look into the main reason for user churn is because of this kind of a feature adoption. So definitely the problem which we are trying to solve is actually improving the feature adoption. Feature adoption is actually the base of any SaaS customer success. So if you want your product to be success in the market, definitely your users need to adopt the software features.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, great to know about that learning curve, and great to understand why this, came into picture. And like you correctly said, most of the SaaS companies, or most of the companies that come up with a product hardly do, kind of design thinking where they collect data about the personas and try to find out what are they really looking for, etc. But yeah, this is, I think, always a learning curve and part of the journey. So great to hear that, Rahul, and great to know briefly about the product as well. How big is your team currently?
We are a small team, still an 8-member team, including me and my co-founder. We have another 6 people, like uh, working in the, I mean, 4 in the technical side, and 2 another helping me on the business side.
Excellent, great. And there are lots of stories about small teams doing big and great things. Like we have the WhatsApp team itself, which was
Yeah,
very small in number, but they made huge revenue and huge money when they sold it off. So great. I think now is time for us to quickly look at the tool and do a walkthrough, so all
sure.
our audiences understand what it can be used for and so on. So while we are doing this, just for the audience to know, while you share your screen now, the everybody should know that we are going to ask you for the best use case that you can put this tool to. So watch very carefully in terms of what this tool can do, and our giveaway is going to be based on the best use case, as well as the points that you gather from the contest, the link that we'll share. Plus there will also be randomness, so we are not going to just pick the topmost, but we will randomly pick based on best use case and the number of points. All right, over to you. Great, excellent. Makes a lot of sense because like you talked about the customer churn or the client churn. There are people who stop using certain things and they don't want to even get into help, or they don't want to even ask for assistance, because in the first go, if they don't understand much, they just give up. They don't wait for somebody to help them out. Yeah, so I think this tool is going to be really helpful for any of the SaaS founders, and not just SaaS founders. I think this is good for anybody who comes up with any digital product. Onboarding can become so much more structured and easier. And
Exactly.
just for the audience to know, we are also taking this product for one of the SaaS products that we have that is coming up. And Raj and I were completely impressed with what Rahul had to offer. So excellent. Kudos to you and your team, Rahul.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Great. So moving on, a few more things that we would like to understand. What are the USPs of your product or company? Why should people go for this? And I know, we have talked so much about the usage and the need for it, but anything else that you would want to point out so that people don't look at anything else and just go in straight for this product?
Sure. So let's say, as I said earlier, user onboarding misunderstood a lot of time. Tooltip guidance or navigations actually came into play when someone is mentioning like the user onboarding. So our platform is actually, so we are implementing a digital onboarding platform, like a centralized platform that include a tooltip guidance, of course, include a video guided tour, of course, and also we have a digital step-by-step guidance. The user can learn things, over our dashboard, they can learn things by doing itself. So it improve the, of course, the feature adoption rate once they are learning things by doing. That's actually one of the core competency. The platform is actually fully like a centralized platform where you can support your users. You don't need to implement a separate customer support platform like an in-app messaging, like an intercom within your application, because even though it's actually useful in the first few days of the user onboarding, that's very important. If the user is actually adopted your software feature, they may not require any support in the earlier, until and unless you don't have any technical problems. Most of the times, any user is actually will get settled if they learn your software features. They won't raise any support ticket. So, of course, you can the three things which we are actually proposing: improve the feature adoption rate, reduce the training time and cost. Maybe you're creating a lot of time creating the YouTube videos, you're creating a lot of time creating writing the blogs. So reduce the training cost and time, and also 3x the software feature adoption, the effectiveness in the software feature rate, the software feature adoption rate.
Excellent, Rahul. And I think what you are pointing out at is also experiential learning, and that is what people like. They like to experience it and learn while they experience the product. So great. I think makes a lot of sense. What are your expansion plans, vision, and roadmap for your company and the product itself?
Sure. So we were in as I said earlier, like we were in a beta, like we even started the development, the product development in January last year, and we were in a public beta like for 6 months, because we need to understand the entire use case. We given it a free on a free version, like to the on a beta version to users, and we got somewhere around a 50 plus. It's actually very interesting. We supposed to, we expected somewhere like a 20 to 25 of beta testing users. Fortunately, we got around 50 plus beta testing users, and like we have a conversion rate around it's amazing, like we got around a 40% plus conversion rate in the beta users. So that's very helpful for us in the early days itself. And so we are actually in process, because SaaS is a free verb. Even India is actually in the next SaaS curve. We're concentrating mainly into, the Indian market, also like North American market, also EU market simultaneously. Like we have support team members working on the, because you see that we have a in-app onboarding support. So we have team member who working on the on both shifts, like on the US support and also the EU support, to make sure that our users is getting help on real time when they are making their user onboarding. So maybe in the long run, definitely we're looking for more users, we're looking for more sales partnership on these deals, and we're also looking for a US expansion as well, possibly in the next few years.
Great, excellent. I think great ambitious plans, and I'm sure you and your team will be able to stand up to the expectations. In fact, exceed the expectations of your customers and clients. So excellent. I see that you said that there is an in-app support which is available. What else? What other kind of support that customers can expect from your team?
Okay, so let's say we offer because we are a user onboarding platform, and we haven't, very often, I would say most of the time, 99% of 99% of my users is onboarding within the using this portal. So because we are a user onboarding software, and setting up the product demonstration over Zoom call is is doesn't creating any value for us, because our product is actually a user onboarding software that helps the user to onboard them, by doing them itself. So basically, we mainly prefer on the in-app user onboarding facility. Also, that we may give more importance to the in-app support. Similarly, we have, like, they can reach us to over their support email, like support@dashfrugal.com. They can raise a customer support ticket on our support portal, like on the contact page. Definitely, we are 24/7. We'll help the user if they have any technical issues, or maybe if they want to any support over there, the like even the Zoom call over the ticket as well. So we have facility, and also they can reach us to over the website chat as well. So we implement a website live chat facility. Anytime they can reach to us, we are ready to help them on 24/7.
Great, excellent. So I think we are covered from all areas. Wherever if we need support, we have enough. Excellent. So Rahul, I think it was a great session, and if you would like to switch your camera on.
Sure.
Great, Rahul. I think it was an awesome session, and I'm sure the audience who's watching right now, they are in love with this product, and I'm sure you will see the user count going up very soon. So, is there any message that you would like to give to the community, Rahul?
Sure. So it's very great to be on this community, and we are reaching to the first birthday, like the first anniversary of Dashfrugal. So definitely, we are happy to give a giveaway. Like we're offering a 5. So we are ready to give a 5 uh, like an annual plan. So 5 of your like members can sign up for Protect for an annual plan without paying anything, and that's actually one of our giveaway on this Christmas session, and reaching our first anniversary.
Great, Rahul. I mean, that's very generous of you. Five, winners from the contest. Great. And this will be annual plan, meaning is the first year free, or is this how will it work?
They can sign up for the Protect, and they'll get they can use the software free for like a 5 users, for they can use it for an annual subscription, like free for the whole year. And like if you have any other maybe if you've selected another 4, definitely I'm happy to give them a kind of a 50% off in the annual subscription plan as well. If you want to offer,
Great.
let's say if you want to extend to the 10, and I'm happy to give another 5 as well, like but with a 50% off.
That's nice, Rahul. That's really nice of you. I mean, that's quite generous because what we have seen so far is this is a great plan to explore, and I think all of us who are owning some or other kind of product or at least a SaaS, we should go in for this
Yep.
particular tool.
Sure.
Great. So it was awesome to have you on the in the session, Rahul, and I appreciate the time and effort that you have put in to walk us through and tell us about the product and the usage of it. So thank you very much, and we will connect again soon.
Sure. Thank you. Thanks for giving me this opportunity, and we'll get in touch with you.